Good morning and welcome back to the Candidate Forum for the City of Daytona Beach. With us now, we have finalist Derek Fiescher, who I'm going to turn over and he's going to introduce himself and then we'll open it up to some questions.
Thank you so very much. I am Derek C. Fiescher, and I am honored that I have the privilege to be here in Daytona Beach to tell you that are listening and participating in this Zoom why I think I should be the candidate for city manager. I have spent my entire career serving communities, large and small, since 2001 in local government in the senior management position. In the last 7 or 8 years, I've been serving as a city manager. And I want to tell you, beyond just my resume, many of you have probably read my resume, but I want to tell you the importance of why I think I should be the next individual that serves as a city manager. When I look back on my career, I had the ability to start in Parks and Rec. I started at the very bottom of the organization, and then the city manager took stock and value in me and saw that I would make a great leader in the organization. And he sent me on a year-long internship program where I worked in every single department and performed every single job. Yes, performed every single job, from riding on the back of a garbage truck, working in utilities, working in technology and communications, and understanding what takes place in local government. So I will be a champion for the organization and sharing the message. When he created the first communications and marketing department where I served as PIO, overseeing all communications for the organization. I believe that a city manager should be engaged in the community, sharing the vision and the policy of the elected officials on why they think that things should be happening, and also being that information portal and being as transparent as possible to help to communicate to all of the citizens and also the elected officials the concerns. And so I want to allow for you to ask me questions and not for me to spend a long time talking about who I am, or really hearing from you with your questions to the moderator here in the room and sharing answers based on those questions.
Thank you. We do have a question that's come in. Please tell us about your experience and commitment in protecting and preserving the environment.
Yes, and a lot of people ask about it. Very involved. I've been a member at one point of the Sierra Club and understanding the importance of that. We have in our community what in Winter Haven, the Chain of Lakes, which is an interconnected system of lakes where people can get on the boats and walk through communities and a lot of trails. And I believe that we should be very focused on protecting our natural resources, especially here in Daytona Beach, Florida, where we've got the waterways and the beach, and we've got all these trail systems. I want to make sure that we are able to balance and not have so much growth that impedes on the natural beauty that we currently have here. And so those are things that I've done in my city with the Chain of Lakes and the trails. If you've ever been to Polk County and been in Winter Haven or Haines City, you will be able to see the amount of lakes and parks and trails and the environment. And I'm in a community that has Bok Towers and the old Cypress Gardens, which is now Legoland. So I do understand the environment is important, and being able to be protected and conserve what we have in our communities is important, but also to bring in the growth that helps to protect and allow for more enjoyment and living in Daytona Beach.
Thank you. Another question we had is, what is your experience in working with special events?
Many people come to our area. In Haines City, we host Iron Man, which is something that is normally hosted in larger facilities, but we have a bunch of special events, the largest 4th of July program in Central Florida. We have a theme park in Winter Haven, Legoland, Florida. So the amount of concerts under the stars that we've had, the amount of national and international events and participants coming to our area, that happens quite often with the large band shells that we have, people coming to our area, going between city to cities. And I've also worked in Winter Haven when we had minor league baseball. So I do understand about bringing in those type of events and those type of groups to our area. And that's something that I believe that I'll be able to do all the time. And I'm looking at you all, but also the moderator is to my left. So.
Thank you. Another question we had was diversity in staffing to reflect the community. Can you share your philosophy?
I believe that the staff that works for the organization should reflect the very fabric of our community. That is something I've been very dedicated to, making sure it happens from the very top to the bottom or the bottom to the top, that the community, the staffing reflects the community, but also how do we get individuals from Daytona Beach to be employed by the organization? How do we create environments where they feel like they can come and get a job? And that's why I've created Haines City University in the community in which I currently serve, that our HR department is working under the leadership of the Office of Management and Budget, Tavia Connor and Arvin Taylor. We've been able to make sure that the staff that we have, we're able to train them, get them certifications and degrees, and they get more money when they do that, but also working with the community for individuals who may not have been able to get a job before. What do we do now to help them come on and work? Because I believe that if you have people that work for the city, that goes back into their neighborhoods, they'll be able to communicate also and help to alleviate the barriers we may have when they say, no, that's not what's really happening, because they live in the community and they work for the city as well.
Thank you. Another question we had submitted are, what are your experiences in recruiting and increasing economic development in the communities that you've served?
Thank you for that question. When you look at economic development, it's not only economic development, it's job creation. I want to make sure that with all the economic development coming to the area, that we're creating good paying jobs where people can have a great quality of life. Two of the two great things I recruited, I worked with a company, really not just recruitment, but working with the EDCs and the Chamber of Commerce in both the city I work for now, Haines City, the previous city I worked for, Winter Haven, and we were able to bring in a bunch of great businesses from working with the CSX Intermodal facility that is a large facility, working with CSX and Transworld to bring in different products, working with Carvana, the national online car distribution center. We were able to recruit them when they were looking for other communities to go to, but they're now in Haines City, a $30 to $40 million development where they were up to 400 new employees. That who would have thought they would come to our area? So that takes place, those from development, large groups, organizations that are really building. We're going to have the largest master plan that we just brought the plans in that will bring in new hotels, new single-family homes, towns, and those bring jobs and restaurants to a community that did not have that before I came. And so it really is just not about recruiting businesses, but it's also about helping the current individuals who work here to see how their businesses can expand and how they can grow their workforce to make a better Daytona Beach.
Thank you. Thank you. One of the questions we had submitted ahead of time are, what strategies have you found successful in advancing affordable workforce housing in your previous positions?
Thank you. One of the things that I'm very pleased is that I have the opportunity to serve on an interim basis for the Winter Haven Housing Authority. The government came in and said they needed someone to come in and help that entity. And we were able to do that and give affordable housing. But in Winter Haven, the 16 Corporation is a very progressive organization working with the leadership of Bud Strain and Kerry Wilson, that group of individuals. They understood the value of redeveloping a downtown core, a value of making sure that the downtown core is not the only place, but developing with what we consider the First Street zone, where it goes to the historic African American community, to the business district. And they were able to work in concert, getting a special district, affordable workforce housing, and also upscale housing. Two developments, Tupelo View that goes with $300 a rent to about $700, and then Rain Gardens that's about $1,800 a month. So we made sure that with affordable workforce housing, we also did the upscale for the young professionals, college students, and also the attorneys and lawyers. So that has been something we've done. And in my current situation, working with churches, the nonprofits, private groups, the city has worked to find properties that were dilapidated or code issues, and work with those property owners that we could get those properties and have them built for workforce affordable housing for single family, and the cities donating that land as long as they build within a certain amount of time. So those things have been transformative, that people who never thought they would be able to get into a house, because I just don't want affordable apartments, but I want someone to have their own home, their own garage, their own driveway, and say that this is their home. And that is not just giving them a handout, but it's really just giving them a handout.
Thank you. If you're just joining us, you're tuning in to the candidate forum for the City of Daytona Beach, and we're talking with finalist Derek Fiecher. Another question we had that came in is, please tell us your opinion of the current state of our infrastructure, followed by your own experience in improving infrastructure for drinking water, stormwater systems, safe sidewalks, and street paving.
Thank you. Very important question. infrastructure is something that people often don't see, especially the infrastructure in the ground. So sometimes people don't think. We're doing major infrastructure improvements within our current CIP, our capital improvement budget for the city of Haines City. We've got about $40 to $60 million worth of capital projects we're going to be doing this year for improving our sewer systems, our wastewater sewer system, our infrastructure. We have a street paving program that we're working on. When I got to Haines City, we didn't have a full transportation program, and now our commissioners that are truly dedicated in Haines City to improving our community, they put in place the improvement plan that everyone can see. So it's not something that's it. The citizens know. Some people think their street should be done first or their infrastructure, their improvement, but we're working on those things now. City of Haines City is part of the Polk County Water Cooperative is trying to make sure that we're able to get enough water to provide for all of the new developments that are coming to our area and for the infrastructure that has been lacking. It's happening here in Daytona, and it's also happening throughout other cities. Our goal will be working with the elected officials. How do I look at the financial structure, which I will say that Mr. Chisholm, the current city manager, has put together a great team of individuals looking at finances, which are superb here in Daytona Beach. And now, how can I bring the wisdom and vision that I have to improve that and propel that forward, working with the current public infrastructure and utilities teams to say, how do we improve areas that are currently feeling underserved and not aware of what really is taking place. And like I said earlier, most times, the infrastructure, people just can't see. But it is there, and we have to make sure we communicate, working with the great team that I'm working with now, the communications team, to share the vision of what's taking place and what we're going to be doing in the future, but also using my contacts with individuals in Tallahassee and in Washington, D.C. that are congressional leaders and state representatives and senators, figure out how do we get more funds working with our elected officials to come through our coffers here in Daytona Beach.
Thank you. Thank you. Another question we had come in is, how open are you to working with community groups to help revitalize the various areas of the city?
That has been one of the things that I do very well. In Winter Haven and in Haines City, I have the bi-monthly or monthly coffee talks I've had in Winter Haven. I've had the neighborhood summits where we I meet with the HOAs and the presidents of different neighborhoods monthly to talk about what's taking place. And then I have those discussions where I have the CEO business luncheons where I talk with business leaders. And so I'm very available to those discussions. People ask me, oh, you say that now, but this is something that I've done since I was in Winter Haven as a manager in Haines City. If you were to contact those communities, they will tell you that was one of my signature things. Even when there were disagreements, I knew that I was still going to have those conversations monthly or bi-monthly for a coffee or for afternoon meetings working with staff, because I believe that we should be able to have the dialogue. Even when we don't disagree, if we're able to communicate with each other, they at least know they're going to have the opportunity to speak with me, because that's my role, to listen, but also to communicate the agenda of our elected officials who have been elected by the residents of their districts, and share that, yes, you may not think that the work is getting done, but the elected officials truly believe in your vision and their vision, and that's what I've been doing. And I want to make sure that working with a team of staff members in Daytona Beach, we're able to communicate what the vision is and the policies of our elected officials.
Thank you. Thank you. Another question we had come in is, what is your leadership style? Is it similar to Trump's? Fire them. Do you have a team of people you plan to bring in as department heads?
I believe that working with people is a collaborative effort. It's really not a thing of firing people. It's about, is the person the right fit for the organization? I believe that there are staff members that have been in Haines City for 25, 30 years, that if you were to call Richard Greenwood, he would tell you probably he appreciates me. And he said to me personally, I'm one of the best city managers he's ever, probably the best city manager he's worked with. No, I don't have a desire of coming in and just bringing in a team of 5, 6, 7 directors. I have a desire to work with people who are here and see how they fit with our organization. Now, does that mean that I don't think that there is opportunities for people that want to come from certain areas to come? Yes, but I will evaluate them like anyone else. But I promise you, our goal will be to work with the staff to make sure that we're open and transparent to the organization. I won't tolerate working with people who are immoral, unethical, or do anything illegal. And I don't think we have that. It's really about how do I utilize the expertise of the people in place. I'm not the expert in certain areas. I'm in a room right now with communications and IT individuals, and this is what they do. And so I work with them. I just so happen to be the captain of the ship right now in Haines City. And at any point in time, because I'm an appointed individual, I may not be the captain. And so I have to be willing as the leader also to follow. And so if there is an expert in an area that says this is the best thing, my goal is to take that information and use it to the best of my ability. But I do want people to realize that I am the city manager, and sometimes I have to make decisions that may not always be popular, but I can guarantee you we're going to always be at the table to discuss it because I'm not an expert in utilities, public infrastructure, police, or fire. I may want to act like that sometimes, but that's not the case. So people that are in place, I want to work with them to continue the trajectory of what's taking place here in Daytona Beach.
Thank you. We had a question come in. How long have you been the city manager in Haines City, and why are you seeking the position in Daytona Beach?
Yeah, I've been the city manager in Daytona Beach for 4 years now, and I will say, I have a great job. I'm not running from anything. I'm running for an opportunity, and so I have a great job, a great elected commission that we are moving forward. Our motto is Haines City Forward. We're moving forward with growth and development. But this is my second home. I went to school at Bethune-Cookman. I come here often to the Daytona Beach area, and I have family and friends that are also here. And this is an opportunity that, when I had a conversation with the consulting, the group as far as looking at the information, and I realized that there are so many great things happening in Daytona, and I believe that I can help to now look at some of the things that Mr. Chisholm and his team did with all of the growth taking place on the west side of the county, the different activities, and I can really focus on now looking at some of the core areas, the neighborhoods, the beachside areas, and try to help to transform it and use my skills of bringing in and working with developers and landowners to see how we can transform those areas, especially some of these small businesses that help them grow with some of the initiatives that I've done in Haines City. And so that's why it's an opportunity. I'm not running from a job. I think the commissioners are pleased with my service in Haines City, but it's an opportunity that just could not pass by. And this is the only other job that I have actually applied for in my entire career other than Haines City. So it's 21 years. I've technically worked for 2 organizations, the City of Winter Haven and Haines City, and this will be the only other job that I apply for, city manager, and I don't plan on applying for any.
Well, thank you. Thank you. One of the questions we had submitted ahead of time is that if you were selected as the city manager, what would be your first 3 priorities, and what would you want to accomplish in the first 30 days?
Great. If I were selected to be city manager, what will be? I would want to meet with every single employee. In some group settings, I know COVID is still out, but meet with every single city employee, and then also talk with some of the key business leaders and community leaders, HOAs, leadership, and working with the team to see what their strengths and weaknesses are and how they think we should move. I'm definitely meeting with our elected officials to see what their goals and objectives, because I have a mindset that if I can accomplish 1 or 2 goals of all of the elected officials and the community, I think we're doing well. But really just meeting with the staff and making myself available for just conversations with the community in those first couple of months. I will tell you, the staff knows I work very hard. I'm diligent. I believe in going to the local high school football games, the Little League baseball games, just to show my face. And I want other employees to do the same, because I want to be a part of the community, just not someone that's being paid by it. So I think that I'm running out of time. They're telling me that I only have a few minutes.
Yes. We do have time for a couple more questions. And we wanted to find out about, how do you feel about Daytona Beach's police department? Are you willing to give the department money to keep up with the growth of the city? This is a question we just had come in.
Great. Thanks for that question. It is something that I'm truly dedicated. If you were probably Google some of the stuff for Haines City, we are one of the in the top 50 for the safest communities in the state of Florida. We've given a large amount of resources to our police department. Our police chief, Jim Alinsky, he will be there to tell you definitely that I am one of the most proponents of public safety and particularly law enforcement. So we need to make sure that they have the resources. And that's a problem now in our community. We have annexed our boundaries. Our city continues to grow, and we need to hire more officers and hire more firefighters and more staffing. But the police department in our community, I think they like me because they seem to keep getting new vehicles for the operations and adding. We're going to have to add more. I believe that is essential because I don't believe police officers should just be arresting bad guys, but they also community liaison. So getting funding for police and public safety is essential, but not only police, but for every employee. I believe that every staff member should have the ability to make a good wage, but not only a good wage and have benefits. So that's why we've created, if you get additional degrees, credentials, certifications in our organization, we also pay you to do that as well.
Thank you. Another question we had submitted ahead of time is, what has been your experience in working with the local school district and schools to strengthen the neighborhoods, community, encourage reinvestment, and reduce crime?
My relationship with the school board and the superintendent of the Polk County School is very good. I sit on the sales tax committee in new construction for Polk County schools. I'm a mentor in the school system. I'm at all of our schools. I visit them quite often. I believe those are essential relationships. I recently served on the search selection committee for the Polk County School Board. We're getting a new superintendent, and I was asked to serve on that committee by the chair of the school board. Our local schools are important. I believe that we should have educational opportunities from pre-K on up to the college level. And so I continually not only work with the local school system for K through 12, but also the colleges and universities in our area. And I think that's very essential. We have a youth advisory committee that goes from the local schools that work with government. And that's how I got involved in government. The former mayor of Winter Haven, Ellie Threckle, had me to serve. I was serving as the youth mayor for Winter Haven, and that's how I got into this, because she told me that we need great people in local government, and I've been doing it since that time.
Thank you. Thank you for that. If you're just joining us, this is the candidate forum for City of Daytona Beach. We have with us finalist Derek Fiecher, and we do have about 5 more minutes. So if you have a question, please raise your hand or type it into the chat. Another question we had submitted ahead of time is, please tell us about your previous experience working with higher education institutions in your community.
Great. I can guarantee two references that you could get. Dr. Eileen Holden, who's the former president of Polk State College, and Dr. Angela Falconetti, who is the current president of Polk State College, and other universities. Florida Polytechnic University, I've served as moderator and facilitator at different meetings at the Polytechnic University. I have been an advocate for the college system, speaking on behalf of Polk State to get recurring funds to build facilities. When Eileen Holden has always been a reference to be in the college system, and I believe it's important. I served as the chair of the Booster Club, raising funds for Polk State College. And so I am very keen on making sure that we have great relationships, not only with the colleges, but every entity from the county commission on down to the local HOAs is essential. So my relationship, I'm still serving with the foundation for the Polk State College in Polk County, and working with them on how they can offer classes in underserved communities as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Another question that we had come in is, how would you advertise openings in the city, realizing not many people read the paper, but we have young adults that could be such a welcome view to advance the city's image, to be able to attract businesses with the living wage?
Definitely. We have one of the things we changed from just putting it on our website, but we tweeted or put it on Facebook. We've also put job notices in parks and at the in the gyms, where we have bulletin boards where people who are just they've gotten beaten on the basketball court, so they're waiting their turn to come out, that they can look at those type of things. But with 5 colleges and universities here in Daytona Beach, Daytona State, Bethune-Cookman, Emory-Riddle, Kaiser in the UCF branch. We should be having some type of innovative lab of collaborative work taking place with those universities and colleges that those students can get internships with the city and also realize that, hey, they should stay here, that we can use them. I guarantee you all of those students in the graphic arts programs or the computer science programs would love to have the experience working with different areas. And we've got to make sure that that large communications team that we have works with those groups to get information out. And you're right. Everyone doesn't have a computer or read the newspaper, the news journal or the Daytona Times or listen to a radio station. These individuals we need to take the information to them. And that's why with what I have in Haines City, we have the mobile city hall where we go to the community neighborhood. We set up just like you're at a city hall downtown where you can get the information, and we're going into your neighborhood to do that.
Thank you. Thank you. Another question we had that came in ahead of time is, what do you see as the role of city government in keeping the cost of government down while providing essential services to residents?
That is a tough thing because when your prices go up to you, they also go up to the city as well. I've had some people say, well, I didn't know the city paid the electric bills or water bills, but there's a cost for doing the services. So what we try to find out is how do we get grants to help us offset some of the things that we would normally pay for. I don't believe in raising taxes and fees and charges unless it's absolute. And we haven't had to do that in the municipalities that I serve. Now in Haines City, there is an assessment fee for fire, but really we haven't raised our taxes. We're really trying to make sure that we bring in new commercial and industrial partners that put the tax burden on them just paying. They're paying. It's not really a tax burden. The Avalon taxes that we receive off that, how do we better utilize the Avalon that we receive from these new companies coming to the area to pay for the services that we won't have to pass that burden on to the citizens? Because I don't believe in big government. I don't believe in a lot of big government and big spending. I believe in just a constant providing of a service that benefits all, regardless if you live in a high rise on the beach side or a condo, or you live in a small apartment in the Midtown area, or you live on a nice home off of Walker Street.
Thank you. We have time for one more question, and it's going to be someone had submitted prior. It's, why do you feel you're the best candidate for the city of Daytona Beach?
I know this area very well. I know from the new Dave and Buster's to Bethune-Rio on the old on Second Avenue. I've been here. I've worked at the Kaiser for a while, attended school. I've gone to church from Allen to Butts Temple. I know this area very well. I come back often. I believe I bring a unique understanding of what's taking place. I see all the great work that Mr. Chisholm and his team and also the mayor and the commissioners have done. I see the work that the staff, just by looking at the website, the newsletters that come out, the information portals, the radio stations. I see the great work taking place here. And I know that I bring a unique perspective of developing and improving neighborhoods and the downtown core areas that make me the best fit. The growth that's taking place on the west side, on ISB and LPGA and Plymores and Derbyshire and all those areas, those are great things happening. Now, I think Daytona Beach will benefit from having someone that has been dedicated to improving neighborhoods, helping small businesses develop, and also recruiting those key industrial and commercial users to the community. And my background and my experience and my track record speaks to that. And I want the opportunity to serve citizens of Daytona Beach under the leadership of the mayor and commissioners to propel this community, make it the best place to live, work, play, learn, and raise a family.